don't know, it's just so much better. Hi, I'm Steph Taylor, and if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. So I was inspired to do this video today because I had an epiphany the other day. I feel like I've leveled up in terms of comfort with myself. My 20s were fun, but they were also kind of an identity nightmare. Now, arguably, I've met some people in their 20s who definitely had their shit together, and I just wasn't one of those 20-something-year-olds. But here are some things that I've learned in my 30s. I'm much more comfortable in my own skin and a lot more confident than I was when I was in my 20s. I genuinely don't care what people think of me, and I used to place so much emphasis on that when I was much younger. I used to try and fit myself into everybody else's mold for what I should be, and as soon as I hit my 30s, I was just kind of like, I'm done doing that. I began to start fully accepting myself rather than denying myself who I really am for everybody else. It's so much more rewarding to just be myself and let those who don't accept me for who I am fall away. And then the ones who are attracted to who I am for me, they come into my life, and it's a lot more wholesome. And we don't have to be mean to those who don't want to stick around. We can just give them that Southern hospitality and just, well, bless your heart. Oh, honey, bless your heart. I get to decide what I want to do with my own life. I don't need approval or permission from anyone. For the longest time after high school, I felt the need to seek my parents' approval for every move that I made in life. I still go to them for input and advice, but they are no longer the deciding factor for moves that I make in my life. Now I just go to them as more of a sounding board, and their input is really important to me. It's definitely valuable, but it's not the end all be all. I think they're actually pretty relieved about that. I'm completely and 100% okay with being single. When I was in my 20s, I had this expectation that I would settle down and have a family and get married. And while all of those things are beautiful and okay, it's not going to be what determines my ultimate happiness. I was married for over a decade, and as soon as I got divorced, I was put into a position to figure out what it is that I want out of life, because I was constantly going to him to find the answers or to see what kind of things that I thought I was interested in, when really it was just all about him and his wants and needs. And we're still friends to this day, and it was just definitely one of those situations where both of us grew in different directions, but I definitely looked to him for guidance, and his opinion became the end-all be-all. And as soon as I got a divorce, I was now put into a position where I have to figure out what kind of style I'm into and what color do I want to paint my bedroom, because now I can choose. And it's almost scary sometimes, because it's like you're so used to having someone make all the decisions for you, and now I can just be my own person. What kind of living space do I want to live in? What should I have for dinner? Do I even like creme brulee? No, I actually don't, and I don't have to pretend that I do. It's totally okay to still not know what I want to do with my life. I'm still young. I still have 6 or 7 decades left, so I'm gonna use those decades to continue exploring everything that I can until I get it right, because I'm not gonna settle. I only get one life. This is my opportunity to explore and expand. Why would I settle for the first thing that sounded like a good idea? My job is to experience as much as I can until I figure it out. Taking care of my body is a top priority. I used to tan my skin without sunscreen or sunblock. Let me tell you, I'm so lucky I didn't get melanoma or something worse. I also never cared about vitamins or what junk I was putting into my body. Your body is a temple, and you have to treat it as such, because what you put into it, you get out of it. And in order to keep it youthful and vibrant and functional, you have to take good care of it. Family is so important. I appreciate my parents on a much deeper level than I did when I was much younger. The sacrifices that my parents made for me, the way they raised me, I'm very lucky to have them in my life, and anything could happen at any moment and they could be gone. And I cherish every single day that I get to reach out and talk to them. Get out of debt and save. I used to not pay any attention to where my money was going. I didn't even look at my bank statements, nothing. And before long, I piled up a ton of debt, just like everybody else. It just seemed to keep piling up and growing, and then eventually it seemed impossible to climb out of. I turned my situation around after months and months of focus and paying it off. Now I actually have an emergency savings. I feel like such a big girl. And that peace of mind is worth way more than my Starbucks habit. Travel as often as possible. You knew I was going to say that. If there's somewhere you've always wanted to go, save up, make the time, make it happen. Again, you don't know how long you're going to be around, so it's your job to go and explore. Don't keep putting it off. Let kindness be the default. I used to let so many things bother me, just get under my skin. I don't really care anymore, and it's so much easier for me to just default to kindness and compassion rather than try and stir up an issue or drama. I used to feel such a need to explain myself or defend my position, and 9 times out of 10, it's just not worth it. But there are still some occasions that are important and worth speaking up about. I'm definitely not trying to devalue that. But the point is, don't go looking for trouble. I still have my moments, but for the most part, I know when to pick my battles. Boundaries and saying no. Don't allow negative people to get you down. I've always been a people pleaser, and I always felt obligated to put others before myself, which is good, but not when you're sacrificing so much of yourself to the point where at the end of the day you have nothing left to give. Now I'm not afraid to politely decline things that I don't have the capacity for, or even just the interest in committing myself to. It's okay to not always be busy. Busy does not necessarily mean successful. Say that with me. Busy does not mean successful. Work smarter, not harder. There have been some days in the past where I would have a day off and feel super duper guilty for not doing something productive, but quarantine kind of helped with that. And now I lavish in my days off. Life is ever changing. Change is the only constant. As soon as I started to embrace change, things just started to sit more comfortably. Learning to be present in the moment is something that's really difficult, especially if you are a control freak like me and want to plan out your entire life. It's just so much more liberating to accept the fact that things will constantly be changing and to appreciate each moment for what it is. Sometimes we hold back out of fear that what is to come is scary, when in reality, if we just let go, it could be something that is so much greater than the current position that we're in. Anxiety is a bitch. Period. Life is too short for you to put off pursuing your dreams. As soon as you decide to start following your passion, you will see your world rearranging itself to support your passion and set you up for the path that you want to be on, for the path that will bring you everything that you desire. Now, if you're not into law of attraction, one thing to remember is whatever you put your focus on, energy goes. Think about that. Where you put your focus, that is where the energy goes. Amazing things can happen if you just believe in that. That's all I have today, kids. Whippersnappers. Cancel me. It's been fun talking about this stuff with you. I kind of wish I could have seen this video in my 20s so that I could just relax a little bit. But no matter where you are in your life, if you haven't hit your 30s yet, just think of these things and let them kind of marinate for a little bit. And don't stress out so much. It will be okay. If you're in your 30s and watching this and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, and wanted to add some stuff to the list, please feel free and leave in the comments below what you noticed when you hit your 30s. And if you're beyond your 30s and you've had other epiphanies that you want to share, please leave those in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please don't forget to hit that like button because it tells the algorithm that my content is worth viewing, and it puts this video in front of other people's eyeballs who might need this information. So thank you. And if you haven't already, but you've been thinking about subscribing, definitely do so because I will be posting weekly videos again, and there is some travel coming up in the near future. Also, don't forget to hit that bell so that you know when new videos of mine are posted, and I will see you next time.